Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Big Ball Daddy, and this is the Big Orange Breakdown.
This 2008 season has not gone as well as anyone would like. Our Tennessee family is united in its goals, but divided in the right path to get there. And I will help my successor if needed, or ask for in any way possible if he chooses.
This is Cobb, up the middle, 20, 25, 30, breaks outside 35, turns it on 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, give him 6, 79 yards, touchdown! Flips back to throw is Kelly. Kelly throws the ball full out of the 35, down to the 20, down to the 15, down to the 10, down to the 5, down to the 4, down to the 3, down to the 2, down to the end zone.
All right, welcome back, folks. So this week I'm going to try something just a little bit different. I'm going to tinker with this setup and this format until I get it down just the way I like it. Hopefully that'll be before the actual season starts. Fall camp continues in Knoxville for the Big Orange, and the physical pace continues to be a hot topic in the media and in fan circles. Some are questioning Kiffin's theory, but I, for one, am a proponent of tough physical practice. Tough practices makes men out of boys, I'm telling you. Okay, so what's the big deal, you say? Well, you know, a lot of coaches don't put their teams through quite as physical of a fall camp to avoid the risk of injury. Not happening in Knoxville. I want to talk just a little bit about coaches' rankings. Now, I saw an article today on the internet by John Adams from the Knoxville News Sentinel. Some people don't like him, some people love him. I'm indifferent, I don't care. I just read the guy's articles. He has great articles. But the article is about ranking coaches, and he talks about how the preseason magazines never really rank the coaches. Go check that article out. You can find the article at govolsextra.com. All right, moving right along. Tennessee's second preseason game was this past Saturday, and it looks like the defense was the dominating force of the day.
Preseason game 2, pretty much the opposite of game 1, which is good for us. You know, the defense really got after the offense, played extremely physical, played extremely well mentally as well. I think 8 penalties on offense, only 1 penalty in the first half on defense. So I thought there was a definite difference today. Obviously, we got to do a much better job as a staff on offense, and we have to keep the consistency up on defense.
All right, let's take a look at other SEC schools today. Now, I remind you, okay, this information, of course, I have gotten from different media sources, but this is my own spin on it. This is my own way of wording it. The Georgia fall camp is heating up as the Dogs look to replace 2 NFL first-rounders, including the overall #1 pick, Matthew Stafford. Fifth-year man Joe Cox will be the signal caller for the Dogs this year, and you Georgia fans, let me know what you think about Joe Cox. Is he going to be the man, or is he going to be the myth? We shall soon find out. Sean Marino will have to be replaced this year. That's a big, tall task for any team to have to replace a guy like Sean, but looks like the Georgia Bulldogs are going to be a grind-it-out, shove-it-down-your-throat type of offense this year. Center Ben Jones anchors an offensive line that at times last year was inconsistent at best. Staying in the SEC East, the Kentucky Wildcats look to continue their trend of postseason magic this fall, as incumbent starter Mike Hartline is back to take the snaps behind center for the Cats. Second-year receiver Randall Cobb looks to improve on an impressive freshman campaign as he returns as UK's primary target to haul in the Hartline passes. As you may remember, Cobb was a standout quarterback at Alcoa High School just outside of Knoxville a couple of years ago. It kind of makes me wonder about this former regime. How come they were unable to haul in Cobb? A lot of fans around Knoxville still not happy about that one. I think Kentucky should make it back to a bowl game this year. I'll give my predictions on the season later on for all SEC teams and some other national teams, but I think they've got a pretty good shot at going back to a bowl this year. Well, on the flip side of that, there's always the possibility of a sub-500 year. It's going to be one of those years, I think, for the Cats. Going to depend on some luck. Going to depend on some, well, it's going to depend on how the play calling works out, of course. And, of course, it's going to depend on how many times they outscore the opposing team. As we take a quick stop in Columbia and Steve Spurrier's Fighting Cocks, for the Gamecocks to have a good run this fall, they will have to improve on two glaring statistics from last year. They were dead last for the second straight year in rushing. That can't happen this year for them to have a good season. Cannot happen. Also, last year, the Cocks were dead last in turnover ratio. And as all coaches say over and over and over, turnovers will get you beat. Yes, they will. Last year, the Cocks were minus 11 in turnover ratio. Can't have that, guys. Now, taking a look at South Carolina's brutal road schedule, this year they have to make trips to North Carolina State, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, and Arkansas. That's a pretty tough road trip for a South Carolina team. Also, they got coming to Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia this year. They've got Ole Miss, Florida, Clemson, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. And then, of course, they have the annual selection of directional schools that usually visit the SEC each year to collect their checks. So they should win all of those games. As for the rest of the SEC guys, if I didn't talk about your team, don't get your panties in a wad. I have brief overviews for all of the SEC teams coming in future videos. For you guys who are fans of non-SEC teams, yes, I'm going to be doing a little brief overview on several national teams. Here's a quick look at some of the teams I will be talking about in future videos before the season starts. Alright guys, look, if you didn't see your team in that little clip of pictures there, let me know in the comments who you pull for, and I will look them up. I'll do some research, and I'll give a little overview on your team too. I don't want to leave anybody out that watches these videos on a regular basis. I would like to remind you all that high school football starts this Friday in Tennessee. Okay, as I leave you guys, I would like to give a shout out to everyone involved in the TTC. This looks like it's going to be really, really fun this year. I do want to remind everyone that I'm not the trash talking type of guy in the sense that I'm going to get on here and call out your team and cuss you and tell you how worthless you are and how shitty your team is and all that. That's just not me. But I always try to keep it classy and respectful. A couple of people on the TTC that, well, they prefer to do it the other way. Hey, if people don't like it, hit that little clicker and go watch something else is the way I look at it. A shout out to UGA Fan 93, Bill for Vols. Also Big E in Bama, he was the one that actually turned me on to this TTC thing. That is one classy dude right there. Alright folks, as I wrap this Monday video up, I'd just like to leave you with this thought. I want this to be a viewer-driven video. And just so you'll know, I'm Big Ball Daddy, and you've just been broke down. Damn it! That's good when you got 3 back surgeries. Oh, shit. Ouch.